In this video, I'm going to uncover the hidden way pivot tables work and the limitations this imposes on your reports and how to get around them. When you create a pivot table, Excel takes a copy of the source data and it stores it in the pivot cache. Now the pivot cache is held in Excel's memory. You can't see it, but that's the data the pivot table references when you build your pivot table or change your slicer or move rows and columns around. This enables Excel to be very responsive to changes in the pivot table, but it can also increase the size of your file. Don't panic though, because the pivot cache is very good at compressing the data, so your file size shouldn't double. By the way, I should point out that this video doesn't apply to Power Pivot Data Model pivot tables. Here I've got 3 files. The first file only contains the data in a single worksheet. The second file has the data in the worksheet and loaded to the pivot cache, making it just under 700 kilobytes bigger. And the third file uses Power Query to get the data from an external file and load it into the pivot cache directly. So you can see that the pivot cache uses less than 700 kilobytes to store the data versus nearly 3 megabytes when it's stored in the worksheet. While pivot tables in Excel 2007 onwards have become more efficient at reusing the same pivot cache when you build pivot tables referencing the same source data, you can still accidentally create multiple pivot caches, which can quickly blow out your file size. Although it's more difficult to accidentally create duplicate pivot caches nowadays, I still like to create additional pivot tables, those that reference the same data source, using the copy and paste technique. That is, you copy the pivot table and paste it, and then edit the pasted one as required. Now preferably paste your new pivot table onto a different sheet to avoid them running over one another when the pivot tables expand. I'm pasting it here for the purpose of this tutorial. Now if you want to see how many pivot caches there are in your workbook, open the VB editor with the keyboard shortcut Alt F11, and then under View, open the immediate window, and in here type in !active workbook.pivotcaches.count and press enter. You can see here I have 1 cache. If you find you have multiple caches but only one data source, then your file size will definitely be bigger than necessary. Another side effect is you won't be able to control both pivot tables with the same slicer, because slicers can only control pivot tables which share the same pivot cache. If you find a pivot table isn't listed in the report connections here, then that's a good sign you have multiple caches. You can see both these pivot tables are connected to the one slicer because I copied and pasted the original pivot table and it inherited that connection. I can obviously disconnect it by deselecting it in this list. And now when I select an item in the slicer, it's only filtering the first pivot table. I should point out that if you have 2 separate data sources, whether they're separate tables in the current Excel file or external sources, they cannot share a cache. If you found you have duplicate caches, there are a couple of ways to remove them. One is to delete the offending pivot table and build it again using the copy and paste method that I mentioned earlier. Alternatively, you can use a macro to eliminate them, and you'll find a link to it in the video description. Ideally, we want to have as few caches in our file as possible to keep the file size small. However, this means putting up with some restrictions. First of all, any grouping applied in one pivot table is automatically applied to the others. So you can see both pivot tables have lost the grouping for quarters. This pivot table has the date in. If I remove that, then they look the same. Calculated fields and items are also available in all pivot tables that share the same cache. And refreshing one pivot table is going to refresh all pivot tables which share that cache. Now we have a few options to get around these limitations. First, we can force Excel to create a new cache by creating a new pivot table using the old pivot table wizard. First, go to your source data, then Alt DP. That will open up the pivot table wizard. I like to think of D for duplicate and P for pivot table. That's not necessarily what they stand for, that's just how I remember it. So my data source is in an Excel list or database that's in this table, and I want to create a pivot table, so I'll click Next. It's detected my data. I'll click Next. Now here, it's trying to force me or encourage me to use the same pivot cache. But at this point, I want to say no. I want to create a separate pivot cache. And where am I going to put it? We'll put it on the existing worksheet, just so we can see them all side by side. Finish. All right, let's build this one. I'll select Date. Now in Excel 2016 and onward, I think it is, dates are automatically grouped in PivotTables. So to undo that grouping, just Control Z before you do anything else. So you can see now my dates aren't grouped, yet these two previous pivot tables have the dates grouped by month and year. So let's add in sales. We can see that nothing's grouped. And if we want to see how many caches we have, let's Alt F11, and then we'll just get rid of that and press enter again. You can see now I have 2 pivot caches. Now just keep in mind that if your source data is referencing an external data source, then you'll need to create a unique data connection for each pivot table to ensure they don't share a cache. That goes for Power Query as well. The other option, let's just delete this one, and we'll just check we're back to 1 cache again. Yes, 1 cache. The other option you have is to go to the data set, and from the Insert tab, we'll insert a pivot table. Let's just pop it beside the other one so we can see it side by side. We'll add date in. Again, the dates are grouped. I'm going to Control Z, and you can see that the dates aren't grouped in this pivot table, but they are in the other 2. Now this pivot table shares the same cache, and to prove that, we'll go and do a check on how many caches we have. 1 cache, 3 pivot tables, 2 grouped by year and month, and 1 not grouped at all. And this will work perfectly fine. You can refresh it, etc. But if you change any of the groupings here, for example, let's add quarters back in, that grouping is automatically fed through to all pivot tables that share the cache. So the workaround is, if you have pivot tables that are already grouped and you want to change the grouping, then for the pivot table you want to change it for, with it selected, go to the Pivot Table Analyze tab and change Source Data, and just select 1 more row. That's enough to tell Excel that this is a different data set and create a separate pivot cache. You'll notice I have a blank item in my pivot table, but don't worry about that. It's removed the grouping. I can group it differently. For example, let's say I just want to group it by months. Now I have it grouped by months. I can go back and change the data set back to remove that blank row. Click OK. It's still grouped differently to these 2 pivot tables. And if we go and check the cache, you'll see that we only have 1 cache, yet we have 3 pivot tables, 2 with different grouping to the 3rd. Pivot tables were designed to summarize huge amounts of data, so sometimes the duplication of data in the pivot cache can tip your file over the edge of reasonableness when it comes to size. If so, there are a few things you can do. First of all, we can delete the data source. So I just selected it here, press delete. Now the pivot tables will still work. So for example, let's say we want to remove quarters from this, and we might want to, let's add in state for this pivot table. So you can see I'm still working with the data. It's not in the worksheet anymore, but it is still in the workbook, in the pivot cache. The limitation is you can't refresh it because the link to the source is broken once it's been deleted. Now, if you want to get the source data back at any time, you can simply double click on the grand total on any pivot table that's not filtered, and this will load the data into a new sheet. You can see there we've got 72,000 rows. The other option you have is to put your source data in an external Excel file, and then on the Data tab, get data from file from Excel Workbook. We'll use Power Query to grab the data from this file. It's on this sheet here. Let's transform it. Now it's a good idea to remove any data you don't need in your analysis. So for example, maybe I don't want New South Wales, and maybe I don't need the country column because that's obvious. There's my data. Now I'm ready to close it and load 2. And we're just going to load it straight into a pivot table report, or you could create a pivot chart if that's what you want to do with it. We'll pop it on a new worksheet, and now I can build my pivot table. I've got the same data here, except this time I don't have New South Wales, and we could look at sales. So this data is loaded through Power Query into the pivot cache directly, so there's no data sitting in the worksheet itself, other than what you see in the pivot table. And that keeps my file size nice and small. The third option is if your data is in an external file or database, then in the Pivot Table Options, right-click Pivot Table Options on the Data tab, you can deselect Save Source Data with the file. If you do that, make sure you check Refresh Data when opening the file so that you always get an updated version of your data in your reports. Just be careful not to use this if your source data was in your Excel file and you've since removed it, as per my first suggestion. You've got to retain a connection to the original source data, otherwise your pivot table becomes nothing more than a static report, and all ability to update or pivot it further will be lost. So keep that in mind. There's a few options there. I hope you found this tutorial useful. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more. And why not share it with your friends who might also find it useful? Thanks for watching.